It is my great pleasure to once again welcome back to our podcast none other than the man himself, the unified super middleweight champ of the world, Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, will tell the folks what you've got coming up. You're going to be taking on the IBF title holder, William Scull. It's a unification fight in an effort for you to once again become the undisputed champion of the 168-pound weight class. Will take place May 3rd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, live on pay-per-view. So welcome. Thank you very much for doing this, Canelo.
No, it's my pleasure, Dan. Always a pleasure to be with you here.
All right, appreciate that. So first of all, this is going to be, in your long career, your first fight to take place outside of the United States and your home country of Mexico. I wonder if you're looking forward to I know you've been to Saudi Arabia to visit, but in terms of to actually go there to fight, are you looking forward to this? And what did it take to convince you to go there, other than, I guess, whatever the big money that Canelo Alvarez is going to make for any time he steps into the boxing ring?
I always say that for me, fighting in other countries was a dream. No, in my career, I think I accomplished everything in my career already. So these kind of things motivate myself, because fighting in other countries is something new for me, another experience for me, for my career. And I'm very excited to be fighting outside of USA or my country, Mexico. So that kind of things motivate myself, especially at this point of my career. I already accomplished everything, so these kind of things motivate myself.
But also, let's be honest, there was a big paycheck coming along with it too, right? I mean,
always. Of course, I always say, I just go outside of my country or USA. It's a big money there. So, but no matter what, if it's in USA or my country, I always make a lot of money.
Exactly. And I just wonder, because of that, is there even a small part of you that's maybe disappointed? I know you're looking forward to, as you just talked about, going there and fighting in a new place.
Yeah.
But any slight disappointment that you're not in Vegas on the Cinco de Mayo weekend with your fans who always turn out for you and probably won't be making the trip to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, sometimes it's not about the money. It's about to have all different experience in my career, and the only thing I can do for my fans in this situation is that I'm gonna fight in Sunday morning there in Saudi Arabia, and they can watch my fight at the same time Saturday here in USA or Mexico.
So just so people understand that, you're gonna fight, but the time you enter the ring in Saudi Arabia,
6 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah. Same time we always watch it here in the United States or Mexico. So no difference.
You can watch the fight here at the same time. So you always watch it. And my fans, they gonna understand me that for me, fighting in other countries at this point of my career makes sense a lot, because I always try to go to other countries to have the experience in my career to fighting in outside of my country and USA.
But before you were able to make this arrangement with Turkey, there was a lot of back and forth between the two of you on the social media platforms that were somewhat negative about not doing a fight with him, or him having some bad things to say about you. Obviously, that was overcome.
Sorry, Dan, we can't talk about that right now.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Who say no?
Okay.
I'll just tell our listeners that's Canelo's.
You got it.
No problem. That was overcome, and that you have made apparently a 4-fight agreement to work with him for this fight against Scull, the Crawford fight in the fall, and then 2 more fights next year in Saudi Arabia. So my question to you is, how were you guys able to overcome that? Or was it just a matter of you got an offer you couldn't refuse?
Misunderstanding means, the communication is very important. That's why communication is one of the most important things in person. You need to communicate the things right? We don't have that communication straightforward. It's always somebody in the middle. So we never talk directly. At this point, when I was in London, I went there just to say, hey, I don't have bad things to say about you. I don't even know you. So how I can say bad things? I'm not that kind of guy, and everything is good. And then the business come. But I go there to London and say to say to him, I never disrespect anybody. I'm not that kind of guy because I don't need it, and I'm not that kind of person. So and then the business come, and I think it's bad communication.
Okay, so you
Was
got that
bad
worked out.
communication.
All right, so now you go in and you fight against William Scull. And so I must ask you about that. Back when you were fighting against Jaime Munguia, he was in an 8-rounder buried on your undercard that was so deep on the undercard that it wasn't even a part of the preliminary stream. And even somebody like myself, Canelo, that always gets to the arena really early, it was even too early for when I got to the arena. I didn't see the fight. So my question is, you got stripped then in your next fight going into the Berlanga fight of the IBF title because you didn't fight him as a mandatory. And you even had said to myself and others, who is this guy? That type of thing.
Yeah, I don't even know
Right.
William. Yeah.
So he went on to win the title that they took away from you, even though clearly you were the number one fighter in your weight class. So why fight him now? You've already been undisputed. It's not like you need that to complete the collection like you did when you fought Caleb Plant.
Yeah, you saw how I get into undisputed, right? In
Sure.
11 months, three undefeated fighters, and this and that. At this point, I think this fight makes sense more for everybody, for Turki Alishikh and us, because Turki Alishikh wants me to recuperate that title back, so and be undisputed again. So and me too, because I'm gonna be the 2 times undisputed fighter.
Right, and you're the only one to ever do it even once, and so you would obviously become the first and only to do it twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it makes sense. I think makes sense a lot for at this point of my career.
Okay, so we all know what is supposed to be next if everything goes well for you in the fight with Skull. That it's supposed to be the Terence Crawford fight in September. What is the level of your excitement about the possibility of the Crawford fight? Because you hadn't really shown a lot of interest, even though he was calling you out left and right. You had said it really didn't interest you. Now, obviously, you've accepted the match.
I don't have that in my mind right now. I'm 100% focused on William Scull because I need to put all my focus on this fight. And I don't even thinking about Crawford fight. We don't have nothing yet with Crawford. Obviously, is a thing they want, but I'm 100% focused on William Scull. I'm not that kind of guy talking about other fights before I finish one. So
I shouldn't ask you about the 2026 fights and maybe a Bivol rematch or undisputed or anything else.
I'm focused 100%, yeah. But always good things come. So I'm 100% focused on William Scull. Yeah, it doesn't make sense if we're talking about other fights. It's something we already know. There's something they really want for September, right?
What I was interested in is, as I mentioned before, you defeated Jaime Munguia in one of your fights last year. Now that he's working with Eddie Reynoso, training him, and he's part of your camp now, he's going to be on this undercard in a rematch, trying to avenge a loss to Bruno Sarase. I wonder, how was it to have your old foe in the camp with you? And I say that because when you were doing the fight against him, I always had the impression leading up to your fight that you guys kind of liked each other, and now he's part of the team.
No, like I say, Dan, I don't like to fight with Mexico because I support Mexico, and I support the talent from Mexico, right? And we have this fight with Jaime Munguia, and we fought and everything, but he asking for help with Eddie, and I don't mind. I don't mind. I really like it because with Eddie, but he's gonna learn a lot.
And good sparring for you too, I would think.
No, we don't sparring yet,
Okay.
but if we are sparring, we're gonna help each other. Obviously, it's way different. But I like it. I like to be there and see how much he's improved with Eddie and the way he's working. He work hard and I like the idea. Support my people.
All right, let me wrap up with just one more question. You're talking about this stage of your career. You mentioned that phrase a number of times. And I wonder, you've done so many things, all the titles, all the big fights, all the money, all the accolades. I wondered, what are the goals that remain for you still in your career, however long it may last?
Do the best things. I don't know, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know how many years more, but I do the best things for my career. And like this, fighting in other countries was uh, is one of my dreams, and now it's close. So um, I like that kind of things for my career right now.
Well, I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing the fight, even if I won't be a chance to be in Saudi Arabia. But I wish you best of luck, and as always, thanks a lot for doing this.
Thank you, Dan.